Sports presents the Pizza Ranch Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Sports Director Jeff Blankman.
Thank you very much, John, and good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome here to the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We'll talk at Carroll and Kemper winter sports with you till sometime after 9 o'clock this morning. Got a bevy of coaches, 9 of them going to be joining me here in the studio to talk about how their seasons are going. We've got Sean Minahan with the Kemper boys basketball team. They're still dominating everybody. Katie Cook with the Carroll girls basketball team. They're having an outstanding season as well. Justin Yetmar with the Kemper girls basketball team. They picked up a big win last night. Randy Beeson with the Carroll boys basketball team struggling a little bit right now, but they'll turn the corner. Eric Nago with the Carroll boys wrestling team. They'll get their season back underway coming up on Tuesday. Joe Daniels with the Carroll girls wrestling team. They'll be in action coming up on Monday night. Tracy Hoffman with the Kemper girls wrestling team. They're on their way to a meet today. Shane Vaughn with the Kemper boys wrestling team. They'll get their season back underway coming up this week as well. And Deb Danner with the Carroll boys swim team. They are not back in action until next Saturday. So they've got another week off. They'll be off over 3 weeks in between meets thanks to that holiday break. Do want to remind you as well that our Player of the Game banners from last night's basketball games are available on the CB Sports Network website at sports.1380kcim.com. Also on the CB Sports Network Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. The audio from the 4 radio broadcasts last night, the Carroll doubleheader, the Kemper boys game, and the Audubon boys game, those are all podcast on the Listen to Past Games. That's on the streaming drop-down menu on the website at sports.1380kcim.com. And recaps of all of last night's games, all available for you again on the website at sports.1380kcim.com. That's all of our area basketball games. Let's run you through, though, quickly what happened last night in girls basketball. Carroll beat Bondurant for our 61-23. Sophia Tidgren with 17 points. It was Kemper edging Earlham 51-49. Elsa Tiefenthaler 12 points, 5 rebounds, and a pair of free throws with 13 seconds left to steal the victory. Coon Rapids Bayard outscores Wood by 19-8 in the fourth quarter to knock off the 10th-ranked Tigers, giving them their first loss of the season, 55-48. Ella Heidoff was huge last night, 17 points and 5 rebounds. IK Manning Downs Missouri Valley 44-23. Anastango with 12 points, go with 5 rebounds and 3 steals. It was Exira Kimball downing Peyton Chardin 52-28. Taryn Peterson with 13 points in the win. Olivia Smith had 13 points in the loss for Peyton Chardin. Arweva knocks off, or falls, I should say, to Boyer Valley 53-21. Gabby Hundling had 9 points in the loss. And Glen Ralston falls last night as well to Camelina 64-35. Allison Snyder would finish up with 14 points in the loss. We move over now to the boys' side of things, and you heard me in the kind of the open there early on talking about Kemper dominating people. They blow out Bishop Heelan 73-46 last night. Carson Caney 6 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. The reason why that 10 assists is big, he needed 6 assists to become the all-time leading assist man at Kemper in their history. He got past it last night, so congratulations to an outstanding young man. Elsewhere in boys basketball, Carroll falls to Bondurant for our 60-57. Jared Moore with 18 points and 3 blocks. Tigers were down 22 with 5 minutes left. Had a chance late, down 4, to cut that to a 2 or a 1 point game, but had a shot blocked. Elsewhere in boys, Arweva boys knock off Boyer Valley 64-41. Wyatt Regaller with 20 points on the night. It was also Audubon defeating Riverside 52-43. Brody Schultz and Carson Wessel both with 18 points. Glen Ralston falls to Cam 64-45. It was Jonathan Bergmeyer with 16 points. Coon Rapids Bayard edged out by ranked Woodbine team 58-57. That would have been a huge win. Crusaders played really well last night. It was Caden Oswald with 10 points to go with 3 steals. It was IK Manning falling last night to Missouri Valley 59-47. Isaac Blankman with 26 points to go with 2 steals. And Peyton Chardin, they pick up their second straight win, knocking off Exira Kimball 60-46. Caden Stream 12 points and 12 rebounds in that victory. We'll step away, take a break. Sean Minahan set to join us next right here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Legendary Pizza, the country's best chicken, fresh salad bar, desserts, and more make up the country's favorite buffet at Pizza Ranch. Share that love with others this holiday season by purchasing Pizza Ranch gift cards. College students, mail carriers, teachers, and bus drivers, to name a few. Great stocking stuffers for friends and family, too. This is Lori from the Carroll Pizza Ranch. We are now offering a $10 coupon with the $50 purchase. We look forward to seeing you this holiday season.
Whoa, that's good.
Kemper boys basketball team continues to roll with a nice victory last night over Bishop Heelan in the opening round of the Catholic Classic. They'll be back in action later on today, taking on Dowling. I'll be down there to broadcast with Doug Waniger later on today, but joining us right now to talk about their 76-43 victory last night over Bishop Heelan is head coach Sean Minahan. Coach, congratulations. Appreciate you joining us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You bet, Coach. Another big win last night, kind of a dominant performance the way it sounds. I kind of jokingly said to you as you walked into the studio here this morning, are you guys going to let anybody play you close? If you have anything to say, probably not, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, these guys are competing hard on defense, offense. They were moving the ball well, so it'll probably be one of those things that'll be frustrating when that game does happen, but it's definitely going to happen at some point, and this afternoon's probably should be a good, fun game for us.
It should be, Coach, but it's hard for me to come up with questions. You win by 27 last night against a 3A team that's usually really good in Heelan. Kind of take charge early, it sounded like, and kind of run away and stuff. So the offense clicking for you guys again?
It was really the defense. We had I think we had a couple turnovers to start the game. Maybe just trying to force some stuff and trying to do a little bit too much, and then the defense created some easy turnover for us. Hit a couple big shots for us early, and we're able to get attacking, force some rotations for them. And I thought our guys just did really, really well on offense, kind of playing our game. We shot more threes than we had, just from a defense trying to collapse a little bit, so we did a good job of driving and kicking. The thing I liked the best, though, I thought, is our defensive pressure was just really, really tough and outstanding tonight.
Well, especially a young man last night had a special night. Carson Canny, Casey Minders and I talked before the season started. He could be a kid that could average 10 assists a game this year and only score 3 points because he doesn't need to score, and he's a young man that's perfectly fine with that, but became the all-time leader last night in assists for you guys.
Yeah, and that was one of those things. We knew he was getting close, and it kind of surprised me how fast and how close he was. I did check on it a little bit before break, and then I double-checked right over break, and we knew he was at 309 assists going into the last night's game, and I even told we worked on a play over break, so we knew that once he tied the record, we wanted to call a timeout to run a lob play because I wanted him to break the record on an alley-oop, and we did. Our Teddy Perkins was our stat guy. He told me when he was at the fifth assist, so I called timeout right away. We came over. We drew it up just to make sure because we had two guys in there who we hadn't actually practiced it with, and so we went and they executed perfectly. It wasn't the clean dunk. We threw it up to Ryan. He kind of got hit as he was going up, but he made a really nice catch and finish on it. So. It was still a pretty fun one to break the official and take control of the record by himself for Carson. And then, he didn't stop there because he finished with 10 assists.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. Up 21-8 at the end of the first quarter. You guys extend that to a 40-18 lead by the halftime. You mentioned the defense. How did that transition into the offense for you?
It was just relentless pressure from our guys. I thought our rotations were really good. We did not give them very many clean looks at the basket. They were able to get a couple here and there, just when we get caught out of position. But that's about it. I thought they had the young man, what's his name, Kaysen Thompson, I think, the football player for Kaysen Thomas, really good football player. He kind of kicked our butt when we played him in football this year. The guys joked and said he had like 600 yards of offense by himself against us. but he was a really good offensive rebounder, attack the glass. They had some pretty big block shots against us, but our guys didn't let that distract us or cause any doubt, and our guys just kept attacking.
Coach, does it surprise you at all the level of intensity that this group seems to play like at all times?
No, I mean these are kids who have all been playing pretty high-level basketball for a really long time. Since they were little, they've all played in competitive travel teams, and then again in the AAU circuits. At just not even like the local AAU circuits, but more in the national ones. So our guys have seen really tough competition, and they have a lot of confidence in their own ability. We saw some good competition this summer, and we're really had a lot of success against it. We've had the success to start the year. Monday we went to Ankeny Centennial. We scrimmaged with them, Ballard and Pella, and we played really, really well. And I think the biggest thing we took away from that scrimmage is if we lock in on the defensive end, we can be really elite.
Coach, you're going to have to lock in today. You're going to be facing a team that sounds like pretty locked in most of the time defensively. You guys are, of course, I mentioned at the Catholic Classic, you get Dowling. This is a 4A team that's been ranked in the top 5 at that level for a part of the season. So what do you got to do to go out and get another win today?
We're going to have to play some really good defense. Look to see if we can't find some easy transition baskets. Athletically, they do a good job of taking away transition, especially last night against Xavier. Their big guy, I think he's 6'9". He runs the floor really, really well. He moves and finds open spots. His biggest thing is he's really tough on defense. He's got right around 30 blocks on the year through 7 games. So he's a pretty elite defender. And then they just have they got 4A athletes out there who are competing. They're physical, they're strong. So it's going to be a fun challenge for us, and I look forward to see how our guys respond.
Well, Coach, I look forward to getting a chance to come down and see you guys play. I honestly don't know if I've seen you since the Carroll game to open the season, so I'm excited to get to watch you guys later on today and cover that game. So appreciate you joining us here this morning.
Hopefully we have a shooting performance to match that.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not a jinx, right? Because I wasn't in week 1. I wasn't in the first game.
That was our best shooting performance of the year, so hopefully we can live up to those expectations again.
I hope so as well. Looking forward to seeing you down there later today. Appreciate you joining us here this morning, and best of luck later today.
Yes, thank you very much.
Head coach Sean Manahan again with the Kemper boys basketball team, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Carpet One is kicking off 2025 with a 1 week of blowout pricing and store-wide instant rebates. Save big on all types of flooring and more. Save on window covering, kitchen and bath cabinets, mattresses, and shower remodeling projects. Plus, take advantage of Carpet One's interest-free financing with 0 money down. It's the big New Year's flooring blowout. Only at Carpet One Floor and Home in Carroll. See all the huge offers and details at CarpetOneIowa.com. That's CarpetOneIowa.com.
Pizza Ranch Coaches Show rolling on this Saturday morning as we talked some Carroll girls basketball last night. They pick up a dominant win over Bondurant Farrar, 61-23, picking up their 5th win of the season. They move as well to 3-2 in the Raccoon River Conference, winning their 3rd straight. Joining us right now, head coach Katie Cook. Coach, congratulations. Good to talk to you again.
Thanks, Jeff.
You bet. Happy with that one last night. You kind of took control of the game early, minus maybe some offensive struggles in the 3rd quarter. I thought you played pretty well.
Yeah, very happy. It was time to play. I feel like we practiced all over break, and everybody was ready to just get in the gym and see where we're at.
18-3 at the end of the 1st quarter. Let's start the defensive side because I know that's where you kind of like to hang the hat a little bit. But what stood out for you? You said they were going to try to pound the ball inside. They did some of that, but you guys really were able to contain it.
I was proud of our defensive effort. We just stuck with our half-court man. We moved really well in that. A big focus for us has been communication on defense. So I think we got better there tonight as well.
Do you feel like you were able to trap them pretty well, whether it be down on the block or even out on the perimeter?
At times, yeah. It's kind of a roll of the dice when we do that, but with some of the athletes we have, I think it'd be a waste not to. Pretty proud of the girls, just their effort, their discipline, and just their commitment to just getting better every day. I think it's starting to show.
Rebounding-wise, pleased with how you guys, sometimes when you're running around defensively and trapping, it's hard for teams to rebound, but how did you feel like your team rebounded last night?
At times we did well. I think there were a couple of possessions that we could take a look at, but for the most part, I think we did a pretty good job on the boards. We've got the size. It's just, sometimes we get away with not putting a body on people because of that, and so we've got to be, make sure we're getting a body on somebody every time.
Is that something you guys focus quite a bit on, is the boxing out part? You hear a lot of people in the crowd yelling nowadays, box out, box out. Is that a focus for you and the girls?
Yeah, we try to throw a boxing out drill in there every once in a while, and I'll tell you what, Jeff, they really love it.
Get a chance to be physical, right?
Yeah, Jersey Sports' favorite thing is our box out drills. You just ask her.
Okay, I will check with her on that someday. Coach, you put up 18 in the first quarter. You shot lights out from the outside, but also able to move the ball in and out, working the perimeter as well. For you, in that first half, you got 37, so 18 in the first quarter, 19 in the second quarter. What worked so well offensively?
Well, like you mentioned, the inside-outside game is good. And when Caitlin Aiden's hot, it's nice. I mean, she ended up with 16 points. I think she had 4 threes. I think Sophia Tigran had 4 threes. And I'd have to look back at the book, but a lot of them early on, that really helps. It pulled them out of their zone, which is always a good sign. I was just really proud. It just kind of shows the time and effort that the girls put in outside the season on their shot.
The aforementioned, as you mentioned, Jersey Sport here, she hit one in that first half, so did Bella Lou. Off the bench, how did you feel like the girls coming in for you played last night?
Very well. I'm not hesitant to go down the line and put those girls in. They know their job. They know what they're doing. And they can score. We're pretty solid, down the line. We've got a good rotation going.
Up comfortably at half, they come out in the third, throw a different defensive look at you, a little man-to-man. They adjusted it a little bit. How did you feel like you guys were able to kind of counter that?
It was good for us. Bondurant Farrar was very physical. They, active hands. It was an adjustment for us in the third half for sure. So I was happy with the way we ended up figuring it out. I think we ended up with 16 points maybe in the fourth quarter. But again, like you said, the third quarter was slow. It took us a little while to adjust. So great for us to get to work on that a little bit and run some of our man stuff and get better in that area.
Could you think of a better way to open up the second half of the season than with a pretty comfortable win where it seems like you executed well in a lot of areas?
I just not really, I guess. This is great. It's good for my heart. It doesn't happen very often in our conference.
Yeah. Coach, and speaking of your conference, you step out of it now for tomorrow. You guys are later today, I should say. You're heading up to Storm Lake on this Saturday. We got Casey Minders heading up there to broadcast for us later on today. So what are you looking at? We chatted you're going to play these guys before the break, and it got snowed out. But a good ball club, they've got size, and they've got shooters.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think we're in for a great game, and I'm just I'm just looking for us to get better, to give effort for 32 minutes, focus and effort for 32 minutes, and play really, really tough the whole game, and let the chips fall where they do.
And, Coach, some people will say sometimes that non-conference games don't matter. This still goes on seeding for, the postseason coming up here in early February. So, ranked team that you're going to be facing, or at least a really good ball club. So this game means something even though it's not a conference game.
Oh, absolutely. Every game means something. A notch goes in the win column or a notch goes in the loss column, and we could end up playing Storm Lake in the regionals. You just don't know. So, we're looking forward to rolling the ball out.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all the time on this Saturday morning. We wish you the best of luck coming up at the game today, and we look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Thanks, Jeff.
You bet. Head Coach Katie Cook again with the Carroll girls basketball team, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Hi, this is Dr. Rick Gotting. Join me here on KCIM at 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings, where I talk about orthopedics and whatever else really comes to mind. We have a good time on the show, and we would like to invite you to join us.
Listen this Sunday morning at 10 a.m. right here on KCIM for the St. Anthony Hospital Orthopedics Show with Dr. Rick Gotting. For more information about St. Anthony Orthopedics, go to stanthonyhospital.org or call 794-5536.
Justin Yetmar, the head girls basketball coach with the Kemper Knights, joining us here on this Saturday morning. I appreciate you joining us, Coach. Congrats. A nice win last night on the road over at Earlham.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jeff. Yeah, it's definitely nice to get one coming off a break. That is for sure. The girls played really, really hard. They fought through adversity, and we got out of there with a good win.
Yeah, 51-49, a tight one. How did you guys close that out and kind of take us through the last little bit of that game and how it played out?
Yeah, it was I think the most any team led by was 4 or 5, so it was just back and forth all night. A tied game with about 20 seconds left, and we get a stop, kind of a loose ball, and Elsa was about ready to get on a break, and they fouled her, and she went to the free throw line with about 12 seconds left, and she just calmly knocked them down, and we just got a couple more stops at the end that we needed, and that was, like I say, it was really, from our side, we had to get a lot of stops late, so, and we did.
What stood out for you about the defense?
I would say the girls' adaptability. We threw a lot of different things at them during break, and they didn't necessarily have a big, so we went man-to-man for a better part of that second half. Kids like Morgan Mashing, she came off the bench, and they have a really, really good guard. She's averaging about 18 a game, and she had 12 at half. Morgan came in, and she didn't have a single bucket the second half. She ended with 12. So it was a good sign. The girls adapted. They played really hard. They jumped in passing lanes. They rebounded really, really well off their shots. So I just think their adaptability and their last night was a find a way to get it done, and they did.
And that's gutty coming out of the break. Sometimes you're off for a couple of weeks. I know you guys probably scrimmaged in there, but it's tough to maybe make those kind of plays. But it sounds like the girls didn't really struggle with that last night.
They didn't. The only area we really struggled, we didn't shoot it very well. We shot it. We were like 6 of 26 from 3. And we're capable of much, much better. So, that was the only, I guess, downside is we just didn't shoot it well, which a little different gym setup for them down there. I don't know if that played a role, but outside of that, they played hard. They rebounded really well. We just didn't shoot it well. We did go to the free throw line 26 times, which is by far the most for us this year, which was a huge point of emphasis. So there was definitely some bright spots.
Did you make most of those free throws? Did you shoot it well?
We did. We were 17 of 26. Obviously as a coach, we'd love to see that, 22 of 26 or 23 of 26. But it hasn't been a strength of ours all year. It's been something we've been working on. So it was an improvement over, where we're at on the season. But you get to line 26 times. You got to like what you're doing offensively, and the focus on getting downhill, getting to the rim, and they did that. So
to hold the team to 49, who stood out for you defensively? I'm sure team effort, but did anybody really lock somebody down?
Morgan Mashing, she really locked down their best player. She was really, really good. Addie Antover came in, gave great minutes, and she guards 1 through 5, really, and did an excellent job. Honestly, like you said, Jeff, was a team effort. Our typical cast of characters with Elsa and Kaylee, Carson, Charlotte, Olivia, they play well off each other, and us going to man a little bit different for us. They adapted. They were in the right spots. They got a ton of steals last night, so all good things.
If you guys struggled a little bit shooting-wise, who was able to kind of fill in, maybe getting some offensive rebounds and putbacks and those type of things?
We got 7 points out of Olivia Schenkelberg last night, which she's been 2, 3, 4. So it was great to see her get to 7. And really, we are super balanced. Carson Overmole had 13. Elsa had 12. Kaylee Simons had 10. Charlotte had 8. So we were just really, really balanced last night.
Coach got a chance to get back to the 500 mark overall on Monday. You guys kind of get right into things here out of the holiday break. You're back on the road, traveling down to Nottoway Valley. We've got Nick Brinks heading down there to make that call coming up on Monday night. What are you looking at? Do you know much about them right now?
Yeah, we played them last year. They have an excellent guard. She's averaging 26 or 27 a game. She's very, very good, and they surround her with shooters. So going to be a big challenge for us. They don't have a ton of size. So, for us, it's similar to what we saw with Earlham tonight. This guard, this Eisbach, she's very, very talented. I'm not sure where she's going to go play, but it's going to be a nice school, and they're going to get a nice player. So we know she's going to be the point of emphasis. And, we're going to watch film, Saturday, Sunday, and, see what we can drum up.
Well, Coach, as always, it's good to catch up with you. Appreciate you joining us here today. Best of luck coming up on Monday. Enjoy the weekend and watching film.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks for the coverage.
You bet. Head coach Justin Yetmar again with the Kemper girls basketball team. We're back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. That's coming up next here on KCIM.
Legendary Pizza, the country's best chicken, fresh salad bar, desserts, and more make up the country's favorite buffet at Pizza Ranch. Share that love with others this holiday season by purchasing Pizza Ranch gift cards. College students, mail carriers, teachers, and bus drivers, to name a few. Great stocking stuffers for friends and family, too. This is Lori from the Carroll Pizza Ranch. We are now offering a $10 coupon with the $50 purchase. We look forward to seeing you this holiday season.
Whoa, that's good.
Back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show as we talk Carroll Tiger boys basketball. The Tigers have one slip away last night, almost rallying back in the fourth quarter at home, but falling to Bondurant Farrar by 3, 60-57. Coach, appreciate you joining us in kind of another heartbreaker last night. Slow start, but you almost rally back in the fourth to get it.
Yeah, it was a tough one in the first half. We weren't very good offensively, but fourth quarter we did some good things in our press and got some steals and got some deflections and made some threes, made 3 threes in the fourth quarter to give us a chance to get back in the game. And I think we cut it to 4 or 5 points there late in the game and had a good look at a 3 and give ourselves a chance. So it was good to see our guys fight back and put ourselves in a position to sneak one out.
Where did the rally start in the fourth quarter? I think you told me during the commercial breakdown, like 55-33 with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty for 3 quarters. We got down by 22 with 5 minutes to go, and their point guard went down, and we were still pressing, trying to speed things up. And without their point guard out there, they lacked a few ball handlers, and we got some steals and made some layups. Got to the foul line, made some free throws, hit a couple threes, like I said, and cut it to 4 or 5 points. I think we were shooting free throws. Made the first one, missed the second one, got an old board. I think it was a 4-point game maybe. Got an old board and had a chance at a good look at a 3 and just I think it got blocked maybe. And so gave ourselves some opportunities down the stretch to find a way to win, but we just got to be better early on. We can't put ourselves in that position where we're in such a big hole like that, and we got to find a way to come back late in the game. So got to be better offensively.
Who started knocking down shots for you in that run late?
Jared hit 2 threes. He scored about 12 of his 18 points there in the fourth quarter during that stretch. He got to the basket and finished around the basket and then hit a couple threes, and Stone hit a 3 too. So we had only made 1 3 in the other 3 quarters that we played. So we had another tough night of shooting the basketball, and but we made some there in that stretch to get back into it.
Coach, struggles early, you said. It kind of sounds like at the start of both the first and second quarter, just couldn't get anything to go?
Yeah, we're not very good offensively for some reason. We don't work the basketball long enough, and we get some turnovers because we're trying to go out of control and do some things by ourselves, and all of a sudden you're driving into 2 or 3 people, and they're able to get their hands on basketballs and strip it away, and there's just not a lot of space out there. And, when you struggle to shoot a little bit, all of a sudden there's not a lot of space to drive it. There's a lot of help defenders in there. So it's a little bit of everything. We got to shoot the ball better from three-point line to get those defenders to actually guard us out there, which would open up a few more lanes. But we got to take care of the basketball. I think we had 12 turnovers in the first half. Another positive, we didn't turn the ball over that much in the second half. But 12 turnovers in one half is way too much. And then we just got to get better looks in the half court. We got to find a way to finish around the basket, and got to find a way to keep moving the basketball long enough so that we can get some good drives and easier drives to the basket instead of trying to score around 2 or 3 people. So we scored 2 points in the first 5 minutes of the first quarter and 3 points in the first 5 minutes of the second quarter. And you're not going to win many games in our conference, or let alone any games, scoring 5 points in 10 minutes of basketball. So we got to find a way to keep getting better and keep sharing the basketball and trusting your teammates. And I think we can do that. I mean, I believe in our guys. They're good enough. They want to succeed. So we'll just keep trying to get a little bit better.
Coach, with the struggles offensively, is the defense playing well, or sometimes when a team struggles offensively, it kind of filters into the defense a little bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't say our strength is defensively either. The McConnell kid averages 18 points a game. He had 16 points in the first half, so we didn't do a very good job of knowing where he was. The Miller kid is their point guard. We did a pretty good job on him. It was him and the McConnell kid that we wanted to slow down. We wanted to make some of those other guys beat us, and we didn't do a very good job slowing McConnell down. And, once again, in the past, we've been able to get some stops on the defensive end, and that would help us generate some offense in transition and do some things. And unfortunately, we're just not getting enough stops defensively in order to get that offense going in transition. But once again, it's pretty easy to get down on yourself on the offensive end when you're not making shots. And right now, we got to just be a little bit more mentally tougher and know that just because shots aren't falling, that doesn't take us out of the game on the defensive end. And you got to be confident. You got to keep your head up, and you got to have guys on your team that believe in you and trust you and have confidence in you. And right now, it looks like we have a lot of guys that just want to do it by themselves or try to do it by themselves instead of believing in each other. So we got some things to work on, but like I said, I think our guys can do it. I think they're good basketball players. They played a lot of basketball, and we just got to make sure that we keep believing in each other and knowing that we can get the job done.
Coach, do you feel like you guys can take some of the success from late tonight and roll that into a big matchup up against an extremely good Storm Lake team coming up later today?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, if our guys aren't ready to play against one of the top teams in the state, I think they're ranked 4th or 5th in the most recent rankings, then something's wrong, right? You got to be excited every time you get a chance to play basketball, whether it's against a really good team or a bad team. And obviously, you get a chance to show what you can do against one of the top teams in the state. I'd hope that we'd be excited to play that game. Obviously, you got to be able to forget the past and move on to the future, and work on the process of trying to be a little bit better each time. And I hope our guys are ready to go, because Storm Lake's really good. They got a D1 kid that's being recruited by a lot of Division I schools, and all-conference guard to go with him, and a couple other good players as well. So they'll want to get up and press and pressure and play fast-paced and try to dunk on you all the time. And so we'll have to do a better job of taking care of the basketball like we did last night helped be better, and hopefully we can be a little more disciplined on the offensive end of moving the basketball side to side and get some good possessions and some high percentage shots and get a few stops on the defensive end so we can get some things going in transition.
Well, Randy, appreciate you joining us here on this Saturday morning. I know you got a busy day in front of you getting ready for that matchup later on today. Casey Miners will be up there to cover it for us tonight. So appreciate you joining us here today. Best of luck coming up later on this afternoon.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the coverage like always.
You bet. Head coach Randy Beeson again with the Carroll boys basketball team. We're back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show.
Are you tired of frequent bathroom trips? Live your life again without disruption. Here at St. Anthony Regional Hospital, we invite you to a free, in-person community health talk presented by Dr. Adam Althaus, urology specialist. It's Monday, January 13th at 6 p.m. While you're here, enjoy a complimentary meal from Ski Sandwich Shop. Say goodbye to embarrassing leaks and stop worrying about where the bathroom is. It's time to regain control of your bladder and bowel so you can get back to enjoying life to its fullest. This is a common problem that many suffer from, but now you can have the choice to change your life with a proven solution. Come join us Monday, January 13th at 6 o'clock. Please call to reserve your spot at 794-5242. Again, that number is 794-5242. St. Anthony Regional Hospital. Always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
Eric Nagel, head wrestling coach with the Carroll boys, joining us here on this Saturday morning. Coach, as always, good to catch up with you, man. This is what, like 2 Saturdays or 3 Saturdays in a row for you with out a tournament? Are you handling that?
Yeah, it's kind of an odd feeling. Maybe this is what it's like when you get done coaching. You know, you got all these free times and all these things, these activities to do. No, it's thanks for catching up with us. And yeah, it's kind of nice to have another Saturday off.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys closed out the regular season, or the first half of the season, I should say, right before the holiday break. You had your own tournament on that Saturday. What'd you take away from it for you guys? You finished second. You told me that Westwood might be the team to beat, and they ended up edging you for the team title. But what'd you take away?
We took away a lot. I mean, I looked at it as kind of a good stepping stone of where we were, and it was a good kind of reality check. And I don't know, it seemed like December went really, really fast, and just kind of, we lost a tournament. I think we lost the Ogden Duels, and we lost something else, I think a JV tournament or something like that. And you just don't have a feeling of how and where you're at, so you never really know. So like right before Christmas, we had our tournament, and it gave us a good idea of where we are and what we need to improve in, and the areas that we need to get better at. And we spent the Christmas time working on that, and or the Christmas break of working on those skills and really driving it into the kids' heads that we need to get better at that. Lose by 9 points, and I think we only had 11 guys. I think 11 guys wrestle that day, so we're short 3 guys in there, but it could have went anyway. But just things that we had to improve on.
Did you feel like the kids bought into it over the break and did the kind of work you needed them to?
Yeah, they had no choice. I don't know if they bought into it or not. They just did it. No, I think they bought in. I mean, we drilled it, and it's things that we have to that we make in our staple, and we have to fix, and we're not moving on until we fix those things. It's kind of like we told the guys, you spend so much time on this, it's like we're either going to get it right or we're not going to get it, and we're going to drill it until we can't get it wrong. It's going to be one of those things where it's a habit of ours, and that's where we're going to put our staple on and what we need to do to improve, and all the things go off of that. So we really drilled it, and like I said, I mean, don't want to sound like a jerk, but they really didn't have a choice with it. So that's what's going to happen if we want to compete and finish out the tough month of January and get into February.
What was the main focus then? I know probably different for each guy, but what was kind of the main focus you had over the break on what this team needed to get better at?
Well, we really didn't go individualized on guys yet. We're kind of in that state of everybody needs to fix this things, and it was just really our positioning and our hand fighting and from our feet. I think we did a really good job in the month of December from the bottom and maybe pretty good on the top, but again, we're getting back to the fact that we got to be aggressive on our feet, and we got to find ways to score from our feet. And when they're giving you an extra point, now you get 3 points from your feet. We got to take advantage of that, and and really wear guys down and wear teams out and really be good from our feet. So we really spent a lot of time working on our feet and positioning and getting people out of position and really wearing them down and basically wearing ourselves down that we don't get out of position. It's going to be really, really hard to get us out of positions. And we found out when we were wrestling at our tournament that the guys that were in the finals, I think we had five or six guys in the finals, and we only got 2 champions out of it. The kids that won stayed in good position, and the kids that didn't win or got beat in that finals round, their opponents stayed in really good position, and we had a hard time getting them out of position. So we really focused hard on that positioning and working and staying in position and getting them out of position and finding ways to score and putting the pressure on. We got to get back to wearing people out and breaking them to the point of the third period that they don't want to wrestle anymore, and then things will open up and good things will happen for us.
Coach, everybody kind of healthy now as well, coming out of the break and at the weight classes and stuff that they wanted to be?
Well, now you jinxed us. That's that typical radio or TV guy. The guy that misses misses the winning field goal when he hasn't missed any. But no, we've come out pretty good. I mean, we still got guys getting down to weight, and that's another thing that we focused on. Kind of this when we got over break is we have guys that aren't in the right weight position in the right weight class. So we spent that, and it kind of made the kids uncomfortable and just realized that we need to get to that proper weight class and then hold it and maintain it. So that's kind of our big thing right now is we have a couple guys that are going to go down a little lower and jump in and fill some weight. So hopefully by next week, when we wrestle Tuesday or whatever, that we have a full weight class. I think this is the one time where we're going to have everybody where they need to be, and we're going to have 14 weight classes full and give ourselves a chance.
Coach, busy week for you guys this week. Tuesday you're going to be hosting a quad. You're going to have a bunch of local teams there. Audubon, Kuhn, and Kemper are going to be joining you. Then you're home again Thursday for ADM and Ballard, and then Saturday you're on the road at the big tournament down at Atlantic. So what do you want to see from the team this week, and what's the competition like coming out of break for you guys?
It's going to be brutal. I think I told you our JV wrestles on Monday, and like you said, we have that big quad on Tuesday with local teams, and the girls are going to be wrestling there too. And then Thursday you have Adel and Ballard at Adel, and we're traveling, and it's going to be a tough one. And Adel's pretty good, and Ballard's I think ranked 16th, 15th, somewhere in there. So they got a good team returning. And then you go down to the Bob Dreyer tournament in Atlantic, and it's going to be brutal down there. Last year, I think we got like 3rd or 4th or something as a team, and it's going to be loaded. So the biggest thing it's going to be, and I think the hardest part is going to be these guys to maintain and hold their weight and compete at that high level. And that's the hard part that we have to get through, is that competing at that high level and maintaining that weight, because that's a lot of weigh-ins that we have, and it's a lot of early mornings, and it's a lot of work getting back into that January. But we told them that month of January for us is brutal, and it prepares us for the state tournament, and it really wears us out, and it really battles in, and we got to stay healthy and fight in those positions. So it's going to be a test of our willpower, and it's going to be a test of our mentality, and it's going to be a test of what guys want to do and what guys are going to be fighting for at the end of the season. So it's a big knockoff right away.
I'll tell you what, Coach, it's going to be a busy week and a busy month for you guys. Appreciate you joining us here today and taking some time. Sorry for any radio jinx that I threw your way here today. But again, always good to catch up with you, and we look forward to seeing you here soon.
I appreciate it, and thanks for everything you guys do. As always, go Tigers.
Head coach again, Eric Nagel, again with the Carroll Boys Wrestling Team, back with more from KCIM next.
Carroll Broadcasting Stations KCIM, KKRL, and KIKD is looking for organizations that regularly distribute information about employment opportunities to job applicants or have job applicants to refer. If your organization would like to receive notification of job vacancies at our stations, please notify John Ryan at 1119 East Plaza Drive, Carroll, Iowa 51401. Call 712-792-4321 or email john@carrollbroadcasting.com. Carroll Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer.
We're back here on the Peach Ranch Coaches Show on this Saturday morning, talking Carroll girls wrestling right now. Head coach Joe Daniels is joining us. And, Coach, as always, appreciate you joining us here. And another Saturday technically off, no tournaments for you guys, so hopefully you get a chance to enjoy this.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Getting ready for the busy months coming up.
Yeah, January does not slow down for you guys. So once it gets rolling here, it's going to get rolling and keep rolling. Coach, what did you take away from the late part of that first half of the season that you kind of focused on with the girls here during the break?
Well, we started kind of slowing things down and focusing on individual strengths and weaknesses. We tried to accommodate within our practices what each girl needed to work on, because as the season progresses, it becomes more and more about the individual. And so realistically, on paper and in the scorecards, it doesn't always show all the improvements that we're seeing as coaches. But we're pretty happy with where we're at, and we think we can sneak up on a few people now that we've had a break.
Where you mentioned that, the growth that you've seen, and you coaches do see it better than everybody else. Where are the best areas of growth for this team over the first half of the season?
Well, and we've talked about this all the time, is our level of experience. So some of the girls were really starting from scratch. And they didn't always 100% understand the importance of circling back every so often and getting back to the basics. And yeah, you're on week 7 or week 8, but all of a sudden we're back to doing week 1 type stuff. So every once in a while we had to kind of pull them back, and we had to readjust and get back to, like I said, the basics, making sure that we are doing the little things right. And once we started doing that and we had time to double back on things, girls started showing that they could figure out other ways to, get a takedown, get an escape on their own. And that's when you start developing your individual style so that we can have more fun. I mean, it's a lot more fun to watch individuals wrestle than if everybody's doing the same thing, it starts to get a little boring.
Coach, did you feel like did you feel like you were able to focus that on break as well, or what was the focus for you and the girls over break?
Over break, our main focus was making sure that we had full lineup. I mean, that's been the goal since the beginning of the season. Some of that stuff took a little figuring out who's going to go where, what weight, getting people healthy. The main concern was just making sure that we were fixing our injuries, fixing our weight classes, making sure that when this Christmas break was over, this winter break was over, we could come out with, more than 4 or 5 or 6 girls. We really think that with 10 or 11 girls, we can actually be competitive with some of these teams that we've struggled against in the past. So the main thing was making sure that everybody was 100%, was healthy and ready to go.
I'm guessing then that that's the case now. Are you going to have that full lineup you've wanted?
Yes, we do still have 1 or 2, minor injuries, bumps, bruises, nothing too serious at this time. The coaching staff is really excited. We're finally going to get to have all 3 of our state qualifiers at weight and healthy. And it's kind of weird to say it in January, but it's going to be the first time we're going to get to see all 3 of them on the mat at the same time. So we're hoping that sparks some energy. That and a couple of movements in the weight classes gives them a fresh look, gives them new opponents when we wrestle these teams that we've seen before.
Going to need to have any wrestle-offs, or do you feel like all of that's already taken care of?
We took care of that. We took care of all of that when we didn't have tournaments and we had a couple of weeks off. We made sure we knew who was who, and there's not a lot of questions left. And, with the numbers that we have, once we decide where they're going, if they get there, we're pretty much figured out at that point.
Coach, did you guys wrestle against anybody here in any kind of a scrimmage or a dual practice type of thing over the break?
We did not do that. We did go back and concentrate on some of the tape for some of the meets that we're coming up on. We have, I consider our region to be fairly tough, and we have some local teams there. So with the tournament on Monday and then the duel on Tuesday, and we're going to see 7 or 8 different teams that are going to be at our region. So we're trying to focus on the future, specifically this coming week, It's always, all the coaches say it, but the next game is the most important one. For us, it's the same way. The next match is the most important one. If we can't get head-to-head competition out of the way, then we really don't have much luck getting seeds once we get down there to a tough region. So.
And Coach, you mentioned, you got a tournament. It's right away on Monday. It's the Kemper tournament. You're one of 4 area schools that we're going to have wrestling there. Then you turn right around on Tuesday and get into the, to another tournament that you're a triangular that you guys are hosting with Audubon and Kemper there. So what are you hoping to see from your girls here in these next couple of matches over Monday and Tuesday?
When we get to Kemper on Monday, the main focus is going to be the energy level. We need to prove that we can show up and that we can produce at a high level against decent opponents. I mean, that should always be the goal. But coming out of a winter break like this, where you've had kind of a lull, you need to make sure that the girls can get back up, get to where they need to be. You're going to turn around and wrestle some of these girls again the very next day. So you got to come in and you got to be ready to go, positive attitude and all that kind of stuff. We're more concentrating on the energy level than the technique on that Monday tournament.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all of the time here today. We wish you the best of luck coming up Monday and Tuesday. Enjoy a Saturday off again, and thanks for joining us here today.
Sure. Thank you so much.
You bet. Head coach Joe Daniels again with the Carroll Girls Wrestling Team, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Savor and save with a 3-day sale from your Carroll Hy-Vee. Hormel bone-in pork shoulder roast, just $1.68 a pound. Select Jenny O ground turkey, buy one, get one free. Jimmy Dean bacon, 9 or 12-ounce package, just $2.99. Be ready for the weekend with amazing deals from your Carroll Hy-Vee.
Back here on the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show, talking some Kemper girls wrestling right now. Is joining us here is head coach Tracy Hoffman. And Coach, as always, appreciate you joining us on this Saturday morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
You bet, Coach. You and I were just chatting here during the commercial break that the holiday break always goes fast. You got New Year's and Christmas, of course, in there that you got to spend time with the family. And then for you, coaching wrestling, you don't really get much for time off during that. So how did the break go for you and for the kids?
It went quick. The first day back, we did 10 laps and burned off all that holiday food, so they loved me that day.
How many days again did you give the kids off, or with being wrestling, can you really not afford to give more than a day or two off?
No, so we wrestled that Friday before Christmas, and then they had off until I think we came back on the 27th. So they had a few days off there. They all felt it, I think.
Was it difficult that first day, kind of getting them going and kind of rounding them back into, just the wrestling mentality, or did they pick up on that fairly quickly?
Yeah, at first it was a slow start, but then they picked up pretty quickly. So,
what'd you guys all focus on besides getting rid of the holiday food that you had to get rid of?
So that Friday, like I said, we had that tournament in Fort Dodge. I had a few things that we needed to work on for each girl individually, and so we kind of incorporated that for everybody during the practice, and we did a lot of conditioning.
Do you feel like things went well? Were you able to get the kind of work with each of the girls on the different areas that you wanted to?
Yeah. So the first day back, we did morning practice, and the boys had afternoon. So this way, we definitely got our time to focus on what we needed to do.
As far as getting everybody, I know some of the schools had some kids that were still trying to get to the weight. Were they able to do that for you? Is everybody at the weight you wanted them to be coming out of the break then?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. We came in heavy on all of us, but they're kind of all probably settled where they're going to be for the rest of the year. We'll have to have a couple wrestle offs just because we have too many girls still in the same spot. But
who are some of those girls that are going to have to wrestle off now?
So we have Allie Sommerfeld, Ashlyn Stewart, and Claire Allman. They're all right there at that 110, 115 area.
Okay, so is that going to happen here in the next few days, or when do you plan on having that wrestle off between them three?
Well, that was the thing. We have to keep everybody healthy. We had some that were sick over vacation. So
Okay.
We did have our first wrestle off at the beginning of the year, and Allie Summerfield got it for the 115 as of now. So once we get everybody healthy and not injured, we'll probably have one more time, and then that's where they'll settle in.
Coach, it's going to be amazing how quick the back half of the season is probably going to go and stuff. Is that a conversation you've had with the girls that, realistically the postseason's about a month away?
Yeah. So we had our practice on New Year's Day, and, we were kind of slow, and, I kind of just had to say, okay, this is it, 30 days, and, that's your time to shine. So let's be going hard and really focusing now.
What were some of the different areas you focused with some of the different kids on getting better and working on over the break?
Just a lot of them, they do so good in practice about taking their shots and stuff, but then they're just not as confident when they go out there to go after it and take those shots. So we worked on that a lot. A few of the girls had to work on the head throwing. We got head thrown up at Fort Dodge and not being able to roll all the way through, and kind of just, working on that some more, fighting from our backs or, when we're down, and just building our base back up. Just a few things,
Do you feel like all the girls kind of started to catch on to that a little bit and gain some of that confidence?
I think so, yeah.
You've got some young girls that hadn't really wrestled before, and some incoming freshmen with this year's a group that maybe had wrestled, at the junior high level. How have you seen them kind of grow so far here in the early season, and what did you see from them over the break?
So, yeah, these freshmen, that's half of our team right there. They just had a new experience, wow, this is a whole different level in high school. They're settling in pretty good. We have a few, that are just, it'll come, the next 4 years that they have, or the next 3 years that they have, it'll come along for them. They just need more time on the mat.
Is that kind of the biggest thing this year, is just to get them experience and not put too much expectations on them?
Yes. So I wish there was more JV tournaments, just, to build their confidence up more and get some more girls their level, because, with us not having the numbers, they're right on varsity, and it's hard competition from going from middle school straight to varsity.
Speaking of hard competition, you're back at it again today. You head down to the Clarinda tournament. You're actually on the road down there this morning as we chat. So what are you looking at down there with that tournament? What you hoping to see from the girls this first tournament out of the break?
Yeah, so I'm just hoping everybody comes in ready, prepared again. I was looking over the teams. I think I counted up about 8 teams that are going to be at our regionals. So this will be, now will be the time to start watching what our competition's like and getting to know what our girls are like, because there's a few of those teams that we're going to meet up with a lot before regionals come. So just getting them prepared and, focused now.
Surprised at all by your regional pairings, or did you feel pretty good about them?
Yeah, I was pretty okay with them. It's basically we have our Riverside, Glenwood, Clarinda, a lot of the places that we have that were in our regionals last year. So good competition. It should be pretty good.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time here on this Saturday morning. Best of luck to you and the girls down at Clarinda today, and we look forward to catching up with you again here soon.
All right. Thanks, Jeff, and Happy New Year.
You bet. Happy New Year to you as well. Tracy Hoffman, again, the Kemper Girls Wrestling Coach. We're back with more of the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show coming up here on KCIM.
Are you tired of frequent bathroom trips? Live your life again without disruption. Here at St. Anthony Regional Hospital, we invite you to a free in-person community health talk presented by Dr. Adam Althaus, urology specialist. It's Monday, January 13th at 6 p.m. While you're here, enjoy a complimentary meal from Ski Sandwich Shop. Say goodbye to embarrassing leaks and stop worrying about where the bathroom is. It's time to regain control of your bladder and bowel so you can get back to enjoying life to its fullest. This is a common problem that many suffer from, but now you can have the choice to change your life with a proven solution. Come join us Monday, January 13th at 6 o'clock. Please call to reserve your spot at 794-5242. Again, that number is 794-5242. St. Anthony Regional Hospital. Always look to the cross, always St. Anthony.
We're talking with Shane Vaughn, the head boys wrestling coach with the Kemper Knights on this Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here as we start the new year in the second half of the season. Coach, as always, appreciate you joining us. How was the holidays?
It was good. Always good to take a little time off and kind of step back from school and work a little bit. So, yeah, it came in a good time for us.
Coach, speaking of coming at a good time, how did you feel about the Carroll tournament that you guys were in that Saturday before the holiday break, and what did you learn from there that maybe you focused on here over the break?
I felt like we wrestled, fairly well across the board. Definitely a lot better than our duels a couple days prior than that. So it's good to take that step forward. We definitely still have room to grow and a lot of things that we need to work on, but it at least gave us a more accurate representation of where we were at, it felt like.
Did anybody surprise you with how they wrestled on that Saturday?
I don't know if I want to use the word surprise, but Case Cook stood out for me as a freshman. I think he ended up third at Carroll, third or fourth. I know he was in that medal round, but he wrestled pretty tough. Had an early loss to a really solid opponent and then battled back and showed a lot of growth already there. So looking forward to what he can do the rest of the way out.
What did you take away from there? You said, it's going to be a focus for us over the break.
We had to get tougher. Just plain and simple, early part of the year, we have some guys who, when things got uncomfortable or got a little difficult, chose to take the easy way out at times. And that's not everyone. It's kind of a generalization, but we needed to get tougher. We needed to get a little comfortable being uncomfortable. So that was a bit of our focus over break. And then as well as just some technical stuff, cleaning up shot finishes, opening up our setups a little bit, things like that.
Did you feel like things like that went well for you and that you got better on that over the break?
I think so. It's easy to say that right now, but thankfully we have a big week of competition ahead where we can really see if that, work over break paid off or not.
You guys took a couple of days off for Christmas and then got back to work, it sounds like, at the end of that week. How did practices go? And that guys that were maybe a little banged up, a little injured going into the break, are they coming out of it in much better shape?
Yeah, it's good to have that time off to kind of rest. We had a lot of sickness going around too, so get the sickness out of there, get some time off to heal up those bumps and bruises. So we're starting to get back to where we need to be from a health standpoint, getting guys cleared and back on the mat and kind of knocking the rust off. So that's good for us right now.
I know in talking to some coaches that it was going to take a little bit of time to get everybody to the weights they wanted to be at, and some of it was going to be here during this break time. Do you feel like coming out of break everybody's at where they're going to probably wrestle the rest of the year?
So far, it looks that way. We have a couple guys that have it in the back of their mind that they could probably go down if they wanted to, but the question is if they really want to. So figuring that out a little bit. But yeah, we're starting to settle into what our long-term lineup might be.
Coach, what was going to be the focus for you guys coming out of the break? You don't wrestle now until Tuesday for the varsity. JV, you said, is in action on Monday night. But what is going to be the focus here? You got about 5 weeks or so before, regionals and state qualifying, 5-6 weeks. So it's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, just open it up and looking to score points. Our focus has to be more on, what little things can we do? How can we improve every day? And so finding ways to get to our attacks more, especially we're seeing a lot with that 4-point near fall and the 3-point takedown. If you get after people, you can blow a match open right away. And so getting having more matches where we jump out to that 5-6, 7-0 lead is kind of what we're looking for.
Are you expecting to see a more aggressive group coming out of the break?
I hope so. I really do. We got a lot better with our pace, it felt like, over break. So I'm really excited for that JV tournament Monday and then our varsity quad on Tuesday to see if we can carry that from the practice room to competition. Sometimes that can be kind of tough. You get really good looks at practice, but then you get out in competition and the spotlight makes people freeze up. So we'll see if we can get past that little hurdle and show what we can do.
That quad you mentioned on Tuesday, it'll be with Carroll High, Coon Rapids, Bayard, and Audubon. So all local teams for us. What's the mindset going in, and what do you want to learn from the guys that night?
Just got to go attack. It sounds cliche, but when we go out and wrestle hard and set our pace and our tempo, good things happen for us. So we need to go out, and regardless of who it's against, whether it's a local quad on Tuesday or when we travel on Thursday down to Clarinda with Crescent and St. Albert, regardless of who we wrestle, we just got to go attack and look for ways to score our points and kind of put the match on our own terms.
You mentioned the quad with the Hawkeye 10 teams coming up on Thursday. What's the conference going to look like, do you think, the second half of the season?
It's going to be tough. Hawkeye 10 is always a tough wrestling conference, so we're going to have a lot of good competition. But if we're on and we're wrestling well, we can kind of try to make a statement and put ourselves out there and compete. So just got to focus on that, and like I keep saying, take those little steps forward every day. It can't happen all at once, but day by day, good things happen.
Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate all the time on this Saturday morning. Best of luck coming up on Tuesday, and we look forward to catching up with you again here soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet. Head coach Shane Vaughn again with the Kemper Boys Wrestling Team. We're back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
If you didn't get what you were hoping for Christmas, you can shop now with a great sale. Here at Pringer's Lumberland, Matt, it's the New Year sale.
Yeah, right now we've got a special purchase on buy a sofa, get a free matching chair for only $6.97. We've also got some great deals on mattresses with the Sealy Lights Out 3 mattress starting at $249, and you can save up to $800 on Tempur-Pedic and Purple mattresses right now.
And of course, special financing for the New Year too. Stop on out and take advantage of the great sale going on for the New Year sale at Pringer's Lumberland, 1318 Highway 30 West in Carroll.
Talking here today with Deb Danner. Of course, she is the boys swimming coach with the Carroll Tigers as they are still on the holiday break right now. Coach, I appreciate you joining us here today. And I hate to say it that way, but I think even you probably wishing you had to meet right around the corner.
Yeah, it would be nice. I think we're all getting a little tired of practice and wanting to do a little competition right now.
Yeah, you and I were talking during the commercial break. You haven't swam in a meet since December the 19th. You don't have one till January the 11th, so you're pretty much a 3-week gap there. How do you handle a 3-week gap, especially with the holidays, 2 of them kind of thrown in there with Christmas and then New Year's?
Yeah, right. We've been mixing up our practices, kind of trying to keep things fresh and different, so yeah, we're making it work. We've had some hard practices, and we've had a little bit of fun days too. So I think they're all ready to go, though.
Let's start with the hard practices. What were the hard practices, and where did you push them?
Yeah, so we had some big yardage practices for a few days. Swimming 6,000, anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000 yards. So. Those are pretty tough, and they survived and they did well. But we bookend those with a couple of funner practices. So it makes it a little bit easier when they know they had something to look forward to, something a little more fun. So it's they know it's always coming during Christmas break. So they're mentally prepared for it.
When you talk about funner practices, what are the things you do? I know you have different games and different competitions that kind of make it fun. What were some of them that you used here during the break?
Yeah, so we actually take one day out of the water. We head out to we went to Adams Middle School and just played some basketball. The boys had a blast. We played 2 hours of basketball. And it's really obvious that they're water kids and not ball kids. So, but you know what? They have fun, and that's the whole idea, is just have a little bit of fun. We're still getting some exercise in, but they're enjoying it too. So
let's talk a little basketball though for a second though. Who did show some skill there on the court?
Okay, so Legan Cease has got some skill.
Okay.
So he did pretty good. Tegan actually doesn't do bad if he just kind of posts up down, under the basket a little bit. So he doesn't do too bad. But yeah, so those 2 are our main scorers there. And actually Brody didn't do too bad. He moves around a lot and he likes to take those outside shots. So
okay.
He didn't do too bad. So yeah, actually they did all right. And nobody walked away hurt, so we're good.
The 2 key things, right? They had a little fun, they got to work out it, and nobody walked away hurt. So,
right.
Coach, what are the guys mentally like during this, though, knowing that they have 3 weeks? How do they get themselves up to come in and work hard every day, or is that something that you kind of have to push on them a little bit?
No, I mean they're pretty good about it. You know, they like I said, they expect the hard workouts during break. You know, we go earlier in the morning, so they have the whole afternoon to recover from their workouts. But no, they expect it to happen. The new guys, I guess it's a shocker for them, but they get through it, and you know, they know this is what needs to happen in order for us to get better. So, you know, and the upperclassmen, they talk to the younger ones and let them know what to expect. So, really, it's not bad at all.
So what do you do for another week then to have them ready to go for the Johnston Invite next Saturday? Because you got another week technically off.
Right, a whole another week to just practice and get better. And, yeah, you know, we'll back off the yardage a little bit. You know, don't need to be putting in 7,000 yards when we got competitions coming up. So, but yeah, we'll work a little more on our technique again, and you know, work our turns, our starts, and just, you know, and we'll start talking about our meets coming up, and just mentally prepare them for competition again.
You mentioned the starts and the turns. Were you able to focus much on that in the previous week or two, or is that something you've kind of waited till this week to focus on again?
No, you know, we always look at that. You know, at every practice, just kind of look at it and you know, maybe pull somebody aside and work on some things. But you know, we'll focus a little bit more on it now. You know, because like I said, we put in the yardage, and that was kind of the idea, was just to work them hard and build them up a little bit stronger. So yeah, we'll focus more on starts and turns, but you know, we look at those every day, regardless of what part of the season it is.
So you enjoying this little bit of time off? Because the month of January, once you get started again, I have a feeling it's going to get really busy for a while.
It's going to get real busy. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of meets going on. So, yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the boys enjoy a little bit of time off, but yet I think they're itching to get back into competition. So.
Well, I tell you what, we look forward to catching up with you next week. We'll preview that matchup and tournament you guys are headed to over at Johnston next Saturday. So enjoy the rest of your time off. I know you're going to work and be at the pool every day, but enjoy some time off, and appreciate you joining us here today.
You bet. Thank you.
You bet. Head coach Deb Danner again with the Carroll Boys swim team, back with more from the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show here on KCIM.
Legendary Pizza, the country's best chicken, fresh salad bar, desserts, and more make up the country's favorite buffet at Pizza Ranch. Share that love with others this holiday season by purchasing Pizza Ranch gift cards. College students, mail carriers, teachers, and bus drivers, to name a few. Great stocking stuffers for friends and family, too. This is Lori from the Carroll Pizza Ranch. We are now offering a $10 coupon with the $50 purchase. We look forward to seeing you this holiday season.
Whoa, that's good.
Thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning for the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. Thanks to the coaches again. Sean Minahan with the Kemper Boys basketball team. Katie Cook with the Carroll Girls basketball team. Justin Yetmar with the Kemper Girls basketball team. Randy Beeson with the Carroll Boys basketball team. Eric Nago with the Carroll Boys wrestling team. Joe Daniels with the Carroll Girls wrestling team. Tracy Hoffman with the Kemper Girls wrestling team. Shane Vaughn with the Kemper Boys wrestling team. And Deb Danner, of course, with the Carroll Boys swim team, all joining us here today. Don't forget our player of the game banners last night from last night's basketball games, all available on the Carroll Broadcasting Sports Network website at sports.1380kcim.com. Also on the CB Sports Network Facebook page, Facebook page, Instagram, and also Twitter accounts. Also, the audio from last night's broadcast are all available for you on the Listen to the Past Games. That's on the podcast on the streaming drop-it-down menu. Go to that, and you can check that out. And again, game recaps of all of last night's games are already available on the website at sports.1380kcm.com. You can check out all the stats and all the scores and the recaps from all of the area basketball on the Brinks Exterior Sports Report. We'll podcast this coaches show coming up for you here in just a little bit as well. Do have some area sports for you on this Saturday in basketball. Carroll Tigers go to Storm Lake later this afternoon. Casey Miners can have that broadcast for you today. That'll be on 93.7 at KKRL. Coverage should get underway sometime around at 3:45. Kemper Boys, they're taking on Dowling. down at Dowling. That's part of the Catholic Classic. That's the championship game. It'll scheduled to get underway around 1:30 or so today, but it'll probably be a little bit later. The third place game starts at noon, so the Kemper game will follow. I'll go on the call with that with Doug Waniger about 15 minutes prior to the start of that Kemper game. And again, that'll be on Kick 106.7. Exira Elkhorn and Kimballton girls are hosting Earlham today, and the girls and boys from South Central Calhoun go to Maple Valley Anthony Charter Oak Ute. That'll start at 6 o'clock tonight. In wrestling, Audubon girls and Kemper girls go down to the Clarinda tournament. That'll start at 10 this morning. ESAC girls are at the Sheldon tournament starting at 9 o'clock this morning. You've got the Coon Rapids Bayard boys. They're going to be hosting a tournament today. Greene County will be one of the teams down there. And the ESAC boys, they're at the Emmetsburg tournament coming up today. All of those wrestling start at 10 this morning, except for the ESAC girls at Sheldon. That gets underway at 9 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in again here for the Pizza Ranch Coaches Show. We'll be back again coming up next Saturday, 8 to 9 o'clock here on KCIM.